explanation because there are a few people who aren't here today. We're just going to go over these problems one at a time, see if you did them correctly, talk about the strategies. So remember that to undo an operation, you use the inverse operation. So to undo addition, you would use subtraction. The order that you work in is backwards PEMDAS. So sometimes I write PEMDAS like this to remind myself that it goes backwards. Of course, addition and subtraction have the same priority, so you don't always do subtraction before addition. Multiply and divide have the same priority. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the plus 7 with a minus 7. I have 3x equals negative 24, and then undo times 3 with divide by 3. And get x equals negative 8. Questions on the first one? Did you guys get negative 8? Nice. Okay. The second one was a little bit different. Down here it says, how is problem 1 different from problem 2? What did you say? Anybody have an answer for that one? No? Let's take a look. It looks like you had two x terms, right? So it was different because problem 2 has 2 x terms. And they're like terms, so we can combine them, right? So if you start by combining your like terms, your 5x minus 3x, you should have 2x minus 8 equals 18. And then that problem now, it looks like the first one, so you can undo subtraction with addition. And if you make small mistakes with arithmetic, I do that too. So feel free to use a calculator. And then undo times 2 with divided by 2. So you should get x equals 13. Did you get that one? Good. All right, in number 3, it says, how is problem 2 different from problem 3? Hopefully you notice that the x's this time are on different sides. So problem 3 has the x's, x terms on opposite sides. So when the x terms are on opposite sides, I can't just combine them, but I can get rid of one of them. Did anybody subtract 2x from both sides? Raise your hand if you did that step. Did anybody subtract 6x from both sides? Okay, they're both legitimate. You could do minus 2x on both sides or minus 6x, but more of you told me you did minus 2x, so I'm going to do that. And now you only have one x term because you got rid of this one. And now it looks like the first problem again, so you can undo subtraction with addition. 4x equals 18, and undo multiplication with division, and get x equals 4.5. Or if you wanted to keep it a fraction, just simplify it to 9 over 2. All right, let's look back at 1, 2, and 3, because the last one is a lot harder. What questions do we have on 1, 2, and 3? We're good? All right, last one. You have to distribute twice. So I'm going to distribute the 2 first, and that gives me 6x minus 10. Be careful when you distribute the negative 4 here. Remember that you have to multiply negative 4, not just 4. So I bring down the 10. I have a negative 4x, and then negative times negative is positive. So I do want you to check that and see, did you have a positive 12 there? All right, so now I do have like terms 10 and 12 on this side. So in my next step, I'll combine those. And now this problem looks a lot like problem 3. Did anybody add 4x to both sides? Raise your hand if you did that. Okay. Did anybody subtract 6x from both sides? Again, you could have chosen, but you guys told me you did plus 4x, so I'm going to do the same as you. So I have 10x minus 10 equals 22. And now it looks like the first problem again. So you can add 10. I get 10x equals 32. And then you're going to divide it. And you can either make a simplified fraction or you can make a decimal, 3.2. Questions? Okay. I'm going to leave that up, but I'm also going to look at the problems on the bottom. So let me see if I can just zoom out a little bit with my low tech. What do you remember about solving equations? Raise your hand if there's something that you remember about solving equations. You will help us out because I needed like 2 answers before I can go on. What's one thing that you remember about solving equations? Yes, you. Combine like terms. Beautiful. All right, I need one more hand, please. Something else? Yes.
Isolate X.
Isolate X. Very good. Okay. And then number 8 says, what is something you still need to learn about solving linear equations? Who has a hand? Something that you still need to learn. What's still confusing? Because we just went over like really quickly. There should be something confusing. Okay, I'll let you go with that. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to stop my recording. It's this one.